John, what's up, man? Danny Green here from Los Angeles Lakers. Appreciate you for last year leading us out of the tunnel with the flag. I hear you're the flag guy.
Hey.
We're live. Dude, so how you doing, man?
It's been a minute, bro. I'm doing great. I'm just trying to make the most out of this time in quarantine isolation, but it's been absolutely incredible, man.
Man, we met 3 years ago now. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Legendary TO crew.
Yeah.
However, if we go back even further, our origins actually go back further than that. I'm going to pull up a photo because you've slandered this man's name multiple times in conversations that we've had. And I would just like to say that 2010 Joubs did not feel this way at all. Let me pull this up right here. So I want you to read this for me, all right?
Okay.
I want you to read this word for word.
No
okay?
idea what the hell you're supposed to.
I want you to read this word for word.
Oh my God. Andre Bargnani, potential all-star. I believe he deserves it over other centers this year. He's playing better than Shaq, Perkins, and Horford, in my opinion. What the hell is... I can't be real. Oh my God. Wow.
How do you feel about Andre Bargnani now, Joubs?
Oh my God. Dude, do you want me to go into that? I could ramble this whole podcast about what I think about Andrea Bargnani.
Tell me how you feel about Andrea Bargnani. I'm just curious.
Oh my goodness. If he played for the Raptors when we worked there, it would be absolutely brutal. That's the best way to describe it. To cheer for someone and promote someone that you despise so much because their game didn't fulfill to their potential as a number one pick. Oh my goodness. That'd be terrible.
He'd be like the anti-Kawhi, essentially. Yeah.
Jubes, run the Andrea flag. No.
Oh my God.
Wow, that's crazy. I forgot about that group, man. Wow, that group was interesting.
There's a lot of instances where you're talking to someone
Yeah.
and you're like, yo, have we met before? Well, obviously, it's not like we ever like physically met through that. Those interactions where you didn't know at the time, where it's like, oh, yeah, we had this way back when. Or like, oh, you know so-and-so. It's like, oh, yeah, I was at that same party or whatever, you know?
That's cool. I forgot that we were both in that group because I think you mentioned it like one time a couple of years ago and like we found like a post where we both commented on stuff. Damn, that's crazy.
So we're OGs when it comes to like, our Raptor fans.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
You know, like most early fans, the origin stories start with, you know, that man over here, Mr. Vince Carter, but yours started a little bit differently. So who was the player that really turned you into a Raptors diehard?
The person that absolutely made me a Raptors diehard, like starting off was always Vince, just because of what he brought to not only Toronto but the country itself. But like the player that like absolutely made me a diehard, probably like, the only person in the world who feels this way, is Jalen Rose. Actually,
hey, there we go.
Jalen Rose is one of my all-time top 5 favorite players ever. I remember like when he first got traded to the team. I think we got Danielle and someone else. Like, and just watching him play, like he was wearing like the XL, like extra baggy clothes. He had like the headband and the swagger going, the lefty, super dope. I love watching his game. He wasn't like the most athletic player, but he was very skilled for his size. I believe we played him at point guard at one point. Came to a point one time where I just really, really enjoyed his game. Finally bought his jersey, realized he had a website and you could like just write to him. So I was like, yo, like I'm gonna write something. Like, yo, Jalen, what's up? Like, my name's Jonathan. I'm in grade 9. I'm your biggest fan. Really enjoy your game. Love that you're on the team. Not only did he write back, but he sent me a picture in the mail of him saying to Jonathan, my number one fan. Guy autographed it and then put it up on his website.
Wow.
And yeah, dude, that was the craziest experience, man. It was so cool to be honored by someone that you look up to so much and also to be recognized. There was even a time, I think it was the Raptors 20th anniversary, where like they were honoring all those players like VC, Jalen. I was at the game with my sister with Jalen, and I remember as soon as I scanned my ticket to walk in, I saw him walking in the lower bowl. I was like, oh, yo, it's Jalen. And then the crowd started like surrounding him, and I held up my Reebok very worn out jersey, and I was like, yo, Jalen. And he saw the jersey in the crowd. He's like, yo, guy with the jersey. He grabs it, he signs it for me, gives it to me. He's like, there you go, man. Got to dap him up, and that was dope. That was incredible. So he really like pushed forward my loyalty and my fandom to the Raptors.
That's love right there. The thing I love most about Jalen Rose is like he tells it how it is. How he was as a player is like how he is, you know, now.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I cried so. Oh my. Okay, remember? I don't know if you remember. You probably do because you're a diehard Raptors fan. The day he got traded to the Knicks,
Yeah.
We were playing the Knicks in
same day.
Toronto.
Yeah.
He was at the game, but like on the Knicks
Just
bench.
went to the other bench. Yeah.
Dude, I was crying so hard. I was like, this is the worst thing ever. It was hilarious.
Oh man. I don't know how well you remember that game, but there's one significant moment from that game where I believe Mo Pete hit a shot from half court.
And you pointed at him.
At halftime, and he was pointing at Jalen. And Jalen just looked at him like,
He was just not.
The top of the backboard. Peterson from midcourt to the goes.
So me and Mo Pete took it upon ourselves to practice those shots. So that's what we did. So when he made one in the game, and they was always for $100. So when he made one, he's like, if it's for half court, you owe me $200. So he made it $200. And I paid him right after the game.
Yo, it's crazy. We both remember that. Wow.
Yeah. I love how right when I said you knew exactly what.
Yeah.
For any of you Raptors fans out there listening who are like, yo, yeah, I've been watching since like We the North. I'm like, yo, no.
Chill.
A real Raptors fan went through that shit with Rafael Arujo.
Oh,
Kobe, rest in peace, scoring 81. Like, those were the hard days. People who just joined when We the North started, it's like, yo, you don't know the struggle. You don't know the struggle we got
oh
through,
my
man.
goodness. And actually, a quick story about Kobe 81 when you mentioned that. I fell asleep watching that game because it's like West Coast. I was in grade 7.
Yeah.
Next day, I'm at school, and my boy, his name was Wasim, biggest diehard Kobe fan you'll ever meet in your entire life.
Oh,
He's talking shit all day. Like, yo, Kobe dropped 81. Kobe dropped 81. I went to elementary school in grade 7. I have no way of like finding this information out. I'm like, yo,
Right.
you're bullshitting, bro. Like, I'll check on MSN when I get home tonight. And like, you're just waiting to get home, and then like you start like on the internet or turning on the TV. You're like, holy shit, like this actually happened. This guy scored 81 points, and it's crazy. Like when you think about how it was back then, where you have like literally no way of finding out what's going on.
No, yeah.
Comparing it to now, where you're
It's
just
in the palm of
always
your
like
hand.
getting updates. It's everywhere. I heard a lot from him that day.
Yeah, I remember because I'm pretty sure that game was on the Score, and at the time we only had Sportsnet. You know how the channels are where you get basic cables,
Yeah.
channels 2 to 28, 29.
Yeah.
So we didn't have that game, but I remember waking up the next morning. I was like, oh, we had played the Lakers, and before going off to school, I saw the box score, the highlights, and I'm like, he did what?
That glitch. That's not
Like,
real.
that's not real. But then they showed him like actually scoring all the points. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, man.
Best believe I got heat because that was the time when it wasn't cool to be a Raptors fan.
Nope.
So people were like, Kobe scored 81 on you. I'm like,
Yep.
oh, man.
Yeah. Oh,
But,
dude, we've been through dark days.
Who's laughing now? Oh, man. Jubes, what can you tell me about Schulich School of Business and Quadrant of the Year?
And Quadrant of the Year. I think I know where this is going.
Stats exam. Quadrant of the year. We won that.
Schulich School of Business.
We won that.
So I went there, only person in my high school to go to the school. So I was very nervous coming into a new environment. It's where I was super shy at first. I studied finance and econ. What I found the most rewarding about Schulich was nothing that I learned in school about the books, but it was just bringing out my personality through doing things like extracurriculars, with like business competitions, with being a frosh leader, as I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. That's what really brought the hype man in me. I guess you could consider it my rookie days, but it was such a beautiful 4-year experience for my self-growth as a person to realize who I am, to realize my true personality, that this shy kid with glasses and curly hair that sits in the back of the classes can be this super loud voice that a lot of people respect, become like a great role model for people. That's where the Quadrant of the Year rap came up in 2014 Frosh, where I did this little thing and I got people hyped up. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, man. I remember when you first told me, it's like, yeah, yo, I used to be this shy kid, go to the library, be in my books, study, go home. And I'm like, really?
Yeah,
I found
man.
it so hard to believe because the person that I know you as and the person that a lot of people know you as is one of the most charismatic and outgoing that I've ever met.
Yeah.
So tell me more about that story of how you unleashed all of that legendary confidence and really embraced who you were within, and who specifically helped you spark that.
It really started in my second year at Schulich, where I was convinced through one of my friends, his name is Franco Valella, shout out Franco V. He was like, yo, you should do this thing, you should try being a frosh leader, like it's super fun. And like when you see this guy, like you see how well respected he is from everyone everyone. Super loud and like absolutely crazy. I remember when we were going to this frost retreat, my parents were dropping us off at York, and when they dropped me off at the bus area, they're like, "Who are you rooming with, by the way?" I'm like, "Oh, Franco." They're like, "Who's Franco?" And then I point to him. This guy's just in a wife beater, sunglasses, and a bandana. He's just walking up the car. He's like, "Yo, what's up, guys? Like, nice to meet you." And my parents like, "That's who you're rooming with?" I'm like, "Yeah." And it was a really, really cool experience. He really pushed me to get involved in like so many things. We were in the same classes and stuff. I saw how much he enjoyed coming to school, doing other things that's not related to the lecture experience.
Mhm.
And through him really pushing me to get out and do those things, that's where I discovered like Schulich and university just in general is super, super, super fun because it brought in your network and stuff. So he's the biggest reason why I became this crazy, crazy cycle that I am right now.
It's really a testament to pushing it forward, but also paying it forward, because
Yeah.
how you described that story and your interactions with him is
Yeah.
how I've seen you in terms of how our group meetings pregame and everything, you bring
Yeah.
that same level of bringing everyone together and getting everyone coming out of their shell. So it's incredible to see how that came about with you, and then you just kind of like pass it on to the rest of the team. And I've seen a lot of people on our team who were more introverted and stuff really come out of their shell now.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to see kind of
The best.
that growth and evolution with everyone,
Yeah. No, dude, it's the best feeling seeing the impact that you could have on people, just like push them to like try something new. And like it's so awesome, dude. I love that feeling.
Yeah. Going back to what we were just talking about. So you and I are part of a small group of fans who
Yep.
have turned their passion for the Raptors into a job with the team. So
Yeah.
Jubes, tell me about the legendary story of how you joined the TO crew.
So this dates back to when I was in grade 12. That's where it all started. This is the year that the Raptors lost Chris Bosh. So the team wasn't at the heights that they are at right now. They have this like open practice thing. It was like free for fans every season before the season starts. You just go, you watch them like hoop around at ACC, what it was called back then. And I remember seeing a contest where at this open practice, they were looking for 30 super dedicated fans to create this group called the Toronto Fanatic Zone. So I went there, I had like face paint and this like cape, and I was going crazy. And I met someone who was working there. He saw me, he liked my spirit and stuff. So he put me and 29 other people into this group called the Fanatics, where we had free season seats, and it was our job essentially to go to all these games and decked out in like wigs and everything, be loud to like help get the Raptors to win games. So that was super fun and like such an incredible experience because we got to meet and network with so many people. Fast forward to 5 years later or 4 years later, when I see a job opening for the TO crew, I see that the hiring manager is the guy who picked me for that competition. So I was like,
no
yo, damn, like shoot an email like, hey, what's up, man? Like, do you remember me? He's like, yes, I do. Brought me down to the interview. Absolutely killed it. And do you remember in the group interview where like they give everybody 1 minute to say why you deserve the job?
You rapped, didn't you?
I rapped it to them, and he was going crazy. I remember Josh was going crazy. They're like, yo, it's just so dope. They hired me, and they're like, we need you to rap on court during one of the games, and we're going to get you to do it on Drake night whenever that happens. And woo! That was the craziest experience I've ever had in my entire life, bro.
Why is that? Was there anyone in particular who was in attendance that night?
I got to rap center court with Drake and his mother staring right in front of me. And think about like your idol and what you enjoy about them so much and like the work that they do. So like to get the chance to reciprocate that back by performing something you love because they're the ones that made you love it was an absolutely amazing feeling. Like they wanted me to write this like freestyle about the Raptors to Drake's back to back, and they dressed me up. I had like a button up shirt and like pants on, so I looked like I had no idea how to rap. And the way that it was themed, it was designed as a karaoke challenge where me and one other person had to read the lyrics, and the fans had to vote who performed the song better. So I started reading the lyrics to back at first, and it was like pretty poorly. Like I learned the game from Drizzy Drake. It was bad. The crowd started booing me, and I looked at Strizzy. I tore the paper, threw it behind me, and then I started like the actual freestyle. And when I was reading the lines, like I saw Drake at the corner of my eye, and he just wasn't paying attention. He was like on his phone, like doing whatever. He was ordering drinks. And then when I actually started the freestyling, he was just like, what? Oh. And then like he gets up and then he starts like going like this and clapping and like watching that like almost threw me off, like almost stopped rapping. It was crazy at the end. Like the crowd went nuts. Parents were at the game. It was their anniversary that day. Like they were
Nice.
crying. The family was there. Absolutely such an amazing time, and I will never, ever, ever, ever forget that moment.
Did you hit him up after the game and be like, "Yo, OVO Sound contract"?
As I was walking off the court, I just gave him like a quick little that, and like he gave it back. Then
Nice.
the rest of that season, every time like I'd walk by that area, just like do a little head nod, like, you know, you gotta play it cool. Like he would give it the head nod back every now and then.
Because he knows. I know you.
Yeah.
I know you.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was awesome, dude.
Since we're on the subject of rap, I'm gonna play a song for you.
Okay.
And you have to tell me what that song means to you, all right?
All right. Ooh. Let's take it back. Oh, man. The best song, man. Oh.
Tell me what that song means to you, Juice.
That's the song that got me into hip-hop, bro. So Hate It or Love It, Game and 50 Cent. When that song came out, like it was popping. Like every time you would turn on Much Music or like 106 in Park, it was always number one on the countdown. So like that song was getting engraved into my head because like I kept hearing it so much. And at the time, my mom wanted me to like find a clean version so I could listen to it because I was playing it so much. And that song, like I absolutely loved it. Introduced me to this beautiful genre of rap. Game is probably my all-time favorite artist. Like looking back to
really,
everything. Yeah, dude, the document. I used to walk to Walmart whenever he would drop a CD, even in like snowstorms, man. I would trek like 20, 30 minutes, although it felt like 5 hours back in the day. We'd like scrape up quarters just to try to get his albums. And like I remember listening to them like the first time on like CD Walkmans. I'd bring them to my high school and just bump them all day. And I still to this date, I like work out to his music every day.
Nice.
Bump it when you're driving. Yeah, that song takes me back, man.
So you'd even rank Game ahead of Drake?
That's what I keep going back and forth on. Drake in this era, yes. Same with J. Cole, shout out Dreamville. But when you think about just like your upbringing and your childhood, it links back to a particular artist. The Game and T.I. actually with Cole and Drake, that's the top 4 all time. No particular order, I guess. I don't know. You're getting me confused now. You're getting me confused now. He's one of the artists that I've never seen live that I'm dying to see live.
Oh, yeah.
He wasn't allowed in Canada.
Yeah.
He announced a tour. I think it was last year. I bought tickets right away. Then the tour got canceled because the border was just like, nah.
Yeah.
And I don't know when I'm going to see him. I would love to, man.
What a lot of people might not actually know about you is that you actually got bars of your own, you know, whether it be bars about your women crushes.
Tell me if you got a man, though. Because right now, yo, I want to hold your hand, though.
Or bars about Christmas.
That's your intention when come out with a Finn Dixon. Grab a pen and paper when I put you on my wish list.
Were you writing those raps while you were studying in Scott, or did this come as a result of the confidence that you developed?
A little bit of both. Like I remember writing the Christmas one when I was in a cubicle in the Schulich library studying. I was getting like inspiration, or you're just bored and looking for things to distract you. Woman Crush Every Day, produced by my friend Jamal Giddens. He's one of my best friends, brothers for life. Probably the most talented producer that I know. His beats are like super incredible. One day he made that song, and I remember he emailed it to me. He's like, yo, drop a Juby verse to this. And he already had the chorus, like you could get it any day of the week. So like I started putting things together for fun. And then I helped him put together like his verse. He did most of it. And then I was like, yo, we should release this. He's like, I'm down. So like we tried recording it. I think it was in his house, like just on like a normal mic, so the quality is not the greatest. So it was a lot of auto-tune pitch. We released it on like Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud, everywhere. And I remember it got up to one point like 60 or 70,000 views or streams across the world, which is dope. We received a royalty check for like $65. We went to the keg that same day. And like it sort of felt like yo, like this is it, like
yo, we made it.
We made it. Like dude, it was honestly though, it was so much fun. Like I enjoyed that process. It was absolutely incredible just to like hear people like listening to your song and like, yo, Jubes, like this is great. Like when you're gonna put out more, and then you just like get so caught up with like other things. But like I wish there was a time where you could just set aside like a month of doing nothing else but like writing music, because like some of the things you can put together, like they're fire, bro. They're fire.
I love how you basically outlined the whole creative process through that whole experience, through that whole story. How, you know, you started out of just like have this dope beat, put some bars on it, and then see it evolve into putting the song together, then actually putting it out and getting that check in the mail, going to the keg and, you know, celebrating. For anyone listening, that's essentially the whole cycle of the successful creative process.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is great. So I have to know, when's the next 2J song coming out?
So like during COVID, like I go for walks every day, and a lot of the times I'm just bumping like instrumentals, and in my head I'm like piecing things together just for fun. I wrote like 3 or 4 like full tracks, again just for fun. Will they ever be released? I don't know. Do I need to record them professionally this time? Yes. Would I love to release them in an EP and a version of like Woman Crush Every Day, like a remastered one that's like professionally recorded? Yes. Will that happen? I don't know. Time will tell, I guess. But yeah, no, I love writing, man. It's so fun to like bring out your creative element, even just for like the pregame bars that we do for the Raptors and stuff. I could just see like people's reactions to the things we come up with. Like it's dope.
So we have to talk about, you know, the hat right now, because you are the infamous flag guy of the Toronto Raptors. So
right. Let's show it off real quick.
Yeah. There we go. Show off that cap. Show off the merch, bro. Show off the merch. So hold up. Is there a link where we can get this merch? 'Cause I've been waiting on my Flag Guys friend shirt.
The Flag Guys Homie shirt. I can make it happen.
Yeah.
It's not for sale. It's like one of those like exclusives. Like you know how like the idea that really inspired me to do this. I have so much respect for all of the Raptor players, because they're so involved with things other than basketball to like help elevate their career. Like Fred VanVleet, Pascal Siakam, like literally every player is doing something other than basketball that just like completes their everyday life. And they started branding themselves like so well, and like that just gave me the idea like, yo, like why not? Like let's just like have fun with it. And like it's really cool, man. I like it a lot. It could happen. Let me know your size and I'll make a call.
I'm a large, bro. I'm a large. Send me that care package my way, and
I got you.
If the day ever comes that Mr. Kawhi Leonard wants to come onto the podcast, that sure is gonna be front and center, and he's gonna know what's up. He's gonna know. What was it like the first time you ran the flag?
I was freaking out, dude. I was so scared. It was a game against the Hawks, and our manager at the time, Russ, he's just like, yeah, like, Jubes, you're going to do it. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, like, aren't you fast? I'm like, no. He's like, have you, like, done it before? I'm like, no. He's like, yeah, it's the Hawks. Like, whatever. Like, just do it. So I remember, like, pregame, I'm just, like, looking at them in the back. I'm like, yo, these are massive. And I didn't get the chance to practice it. He's like, just go, like, twirl it, like, whatever. Like, you figure it out as you go. And I'm standing under the net waiting for him to cue me for, like, the fourth quarter one. And I still have a video of, like, the first round because my sister was at the game. And so you could tell I was scared because, like, I was shaking. I was on the court. My legs were actually shaking as I'm waving this flag, just because like everybody in the arena, their eyes are on you because that's the only thing that's going on at that specific moment. And it was the craziest adrenaline rush. You're just thinking the whole time, like, please don't let me trip as I'm like running along the walkway, like trying to, like, when you get off the court and you're circling back to our EV bomb. After you did it the first time, you just were on like such a high where it's like all you wanted to do. And now it's the best feeling, man. It's so cool just to like see what you're doing, getting everybody like excited into the game. You're screaming like so loud, like it's crazy.
What was it like the first time you were in Players Vom? What was it like for you that first time when you went in there and was like, oh my God, like this is happening?
It was crazy because like you're told like you're not supposed to interact with them because like you have to keep it professional, but part of the job and when you're in the players tunnel is to like offer them those little mini balls so they could throw it out to the fans when they come out. And I can't remember who told me, but someone gave me a heads up like no one's gonna want them. So I remember like Kyle walks out. I'm like, yo, Kyle, and just completely walks by me. Like, yo, DeMar, completely walks by me. And so I was like, okay, like this is how they want to play it. All right, cool. But it was just like really awesome that the way that I think about doing the players tunnel, you're the person who brings them out onto the court and gets everybody excited to like see them play. And so that's like what I really love about it. It's awesome, dude. Such a great experience. I was gonna ask you a question because like the players tunnel is like that's where you experience like being that close with everyone.
Mhm.
So I remember my like first time like seeing a player up close, like working the job. But like, what's your experience been like for the first time you were that close to a player?
Oh man. Shoot. Okay. Damn, you caught me. You caught me with a left hook here.
I did.
Shit. In my first year,
Yeah.
one of the first games of the season, because when you get put in the job and like obviously when you're a big fan and you see all these behind the scenes things happening, you're like, whoa, this is crazy.
Yeah.
The craziest thing that happened to me was in our old locker room. I remember heading out. We were getting ready to start interacting with the fans in the concourse and everything.
Yeah.
I remember heading out, and first thing I do when I leave the door, Kyle Lowry's heading my way, and I'm like, what's I think he was heading to where, the little ballas were at for some reason, but he walked by, he was just like, he gave me the head nod like, sup, and then just continued walking. I'm like,
yo, that's Kyle.
Yeah, I don't get starstruck often, but that was one of those moments where obviously, first time on the job and then that happens.
Yeah.
You're kind of like, oh, okay, so this is what it's like.
This is real. Like, this is dope. So another one of my top 5 all-time favorites is Kevin Garnett. And my first game working was a preseason game against Minnesota. And I remember someone giving me the heads up, like when you leave the locker room, like you're probably going to see like players and stuff. So like just do your thing. Like walk by them, do whatever. First thing I do, like when I turn the corner, Kevin Garnett's doing that like stretch on the wall where his legs are going back and forth. I walked back in the changing room. I was like, guys, I can't go out. That's it. I'm just gonna stay here all game. Like, I can't walk by KG and not be like, yo, what's up, KG?
Oh yeah.
But like you had to, man, I'll never forget that moment.
We're gonna shift things here a bit. So you've successfully climbed the corporate ladder, went from advisor to manager to director, and now you're that full-time executive at American Express. In order to do what you've done, you have to be good with numbers, right? Yeah. You have to be good with people. Through our conversation, we've learned how you became good with people, but how exactly did you become good with numbers, and what sparked that affinity, that love for it?
Numbers was just something that I was naturally good at in high school. So like math, I was always like high 90s. My older sister, she's 1 year older than me, but parents made me fast track. So I'd be in all of her classes to like help her out. I was just like, it came so natural to me. That's what made me want to get into business, number one. Number two, I just like enjoyed learning about finance because it's so important in your everyday life. Like regardless of whatever career path you choose, you're going to need to have like some sort of basic understanding of finances for when the time comes, like where you have your own family. So that was another way that like made me really interested into the topic. I didn't know what career I wanted coming out of Schulich, but from realizing how much I enjoyed talking to people and being in a social environment, that's what wanted me to try a career in sales, because it gives you the opportunity to talk to potential customers, like hear them out on a problem that they're having and then fix their problem and just making whatever they're doing become better. So that's what really made me want to get into a career with sales, because you're talking to people and you're still dealing with numbers, and that's something that I've enjoyed quite thoroughly post graduation.
And it's a testament to where you've grown up till then. Like I said, you've been climbing that corporate ladder to full-time executive now. So what's the next rung of the ladder that you plan on climbing?
I go back and forth with this a lot. So like when you're exploring a career in sales, there's really like two ways to grow. One is you're killing your job. So I want to start doing my job, but on a larger scale. So like dealing with even larger accounts and bringing in larger volumes of deals. Or the other thing is, I'm so good at this job, I like helping people. Let's see if I could go into this management path where you sort of take a step back on bringing in the sales yourself, but you're using the knowledge that you've learned to help other people. That's something I've always been curious about, but I've never had the ability to try it. And I keep going back and forth on like whether or not I'm ready for an opportunity like that, because I still enjoy the sales process so much. So like what's next, I'm not sure. I could tell you one thing, sales during a global pandemic is the hardest thing ever because no one's spending shit.
All right, so this next question, I'm going to put you on the spot. This next question is for all of the financially illiterate 20-somethings tuning into this podcast right now. So I'm going to give you three options for this prospective 20-something-year-old who with their money. So if they had the choice to put it in a TFSA, an RRSP, or a high interest savings account, which one should they put it in?
Absolutely not a high interest savings account. Whether it's a TFSA or an RSP, it depends. Whoever is listening, if you're in your mid 20s, now's the time to take risks because you're so young. And if this risk doesn't fulfill the way that you wanted to, you have so much time to build that back up. I was actually talking about this with like my boys the other day. A big like inspiration I had in finances was one of my uncles and my dad. Both pushed me to get a line of credit as soon as I graduated school. And they're like, take chances. You're so young. If you borrow $2,000 or $5,000, you're not buying stupid shit with it. You're investing into a stock that you wish you had the money to put into it right now. So like you're not really wasting your money. You're putting it into something that's going to bring back more than the interest you're going to have to pay on that line. So like take these opportunities where you could borrow a line, helps build your credit, helps set you up for like mortgages down the road anyways. You could get into these stocks or these riskier investments that you've always wanted to. That's what I'm recommending for a lot of people right now who are in their mid 20s, because it's hard to get in with very limited capital that you have saved if you've only been working for like a year or two. So that's the big thing, whether it's TFSA or RSP, cryptos. I'd love cryptos. Take those risks now because they could pay off quite significantly if you play them right.
I was hoping that you would dive a little bit into stocks, and I'm glad that you did. So
Yeah.
I'm going to hit you with another hypothetical, put you on the spot again. So,
Okay.
All right, again, 20-something-year-old, let's say you have $1,000 to put into stocks, bonds, whatever you want.
Sure.
How are you splitting up that 1K?
I'm splitting that 1K into companies that have true value that I don't think are overvalued. It could be like up and coming ones, like they're not really up and coming, but like Shopify, who like continue to grow. They're now the largest company in Canada. I'm a true believer in companies that mine like gold and silver because I believe that's the true value of actual money, not just like the paper pieces of shit that the government keeps like printing stuff. So if you find legit companies that are investing into like really, really cool projects to mine gold and silver, that's the area that I would be looking into with this 1K. Mainly gold and silver, because I feel like it's safe. Gold and silver, it's actual money. So it could go up and down a few dollars. If this company is legit and they strike and like actually produce a lot of gold and silver, then you're flying. Typically, the rule of thumb, what I've learned, when like the actual price of gold or silver goes up 5-fold, I think, then the stocks, the companies that produce them, go up 50-fold.
Oh, wow.
If I remember right. Yeah, so it's a good opportunity to look into.
You spoke a little bit on crypto earlier.
Yep.
What's your outlook for crypto from 2020 moving forward? Because I want to say 2016 or 17 is when it hit that huge
fun, bro.
peak.
That was fun.
Yeah. Oh my God. What's your personal outlook on crypto from 2020 going forward?
I'm super optimistic about it, again, because I like taking risks at this age. There's like hundreds of cryptos, so it's more so about like finding the ones that produce actual value, like the Bitcoins and the Litecoins. My gut feeling is telling me we might see a bull run near like the end of the year, but I think they're going to take off again because like they cycle every 4 years or so, typically after like the Bitcoin has the halving date, which we did back in May. Something that I'll probably always hold on to because I've seen the numbers that it could produce. Like I got in right in July of 2017 before like it skyrocketed. So like being able to like experience that was craziest thing that I've ever been through from a financial perspective. So like going through that once, I'm like very confident that it could happen again because I've seen how many times it happened before I got in. It's interesting. It's definitely extremely risky. So like you need to do a lot of research on whether or not it's something that you want to get into. But like if you have extra money, and the way that you look into crypto is if I'm investing $100 in crypto, I'm okay with putting this $100 and never having it again for the rest of my life. If it turns into this something, then it does, and it's great. If not, that's the risk that I took. But I'm optimistic. I like where it's going.
Before we move on to our last segment, do you have any other Jonathan Joubran golden rules of personal finance?
I'm still like number one is the risks, obviously, like depending on your age. 2, I didn't do this when I started graduating, and like I keep thinking about it now, but putting away literally like the 10% rule of your paychecks aside, at first it's going to seem like nothing. So it's so easy to do that so many people don't do. And just like thinking back, if I started that when I had my full-time jobs, even like my part-time jobs, like when I was in high school and stuff, and that could really accumulate into something special that you could use for investing into larger opportunities. those would be like the two main things, and just like stay on top of your stuff. Like don't invest in something and then just like forget about it. Like remember you still have those investments. So like you don't have to check them daily because that's super stressful. But check them like here and there just to like stay on top of stuff.
This is one of those times too where it doesn't hurt to be frugal. One of the things I've learned through COVID was how much I spent eating out. And like it's crazy how when you look through your like transaction history and you see just how much money you spent and how if you had took in that money or even just a fraction of it and then just put it away, it makes a huge difference because it accumulates over time, right? So
I think everyone's spending patterns are going to shift when the pandemic is done because everyone's having that exact realization that you had where like, holy shit, like I've spent this much on food and clothes and drinks that I don't need. I'm clearly doing okay without them right now. I'm super curious to see what it's going to look like once this is all over.
For people like myself, it was very much a eureka moment where it's like, damn, okay.
Trust me, bro.
It was like that wake up call, right? All right, man. We're going to close off with some rapid fire questions. It's been a real one, but this is where we get juicy.
All right, let me sit up. Let's get it.
All right. Would you rather do a song with Drake, have Kawhi Leonard be the best man at your wedding, or go on a date with Taylor Swift?
Wow, holy shit. Song with Drake, Kawhi is best man at his wedding, or go on a date with Taylor Swift. Song with Drake, hands down.
Really?
Yeah, because everything else will fade into a memory. The song with Drake is something that I could bump for the rest of my life that everyone could listen to. And the date with Taylor would be the biggest tease because that's the wife and I love her greatly. And to know it's just a date, that would hurt me, man.
Okay. Hey, let me rephrase it a bit then.
Oh, don't make it harder.
All right. We'll change the last two a bit. Okay. Not only is Kawhi the best man at your wedding.
Yeah.
But you know how Kawhi is one of those like quiet, like reserved guys? He gives a speech on the level of his parade speech. And then we'll change the Taylor Swift one. It's not a date with Taylor Swift.
Uh-oh.
This is the wedding.
Oh, my God.
This is the wedding that Kawhi is not the best man of.
Bro, why are you doing this to me, man? Why are you doing this to me? Like, theoretically, you want to say, like, yes. But, like, I gotta see how Taylor's like. Like, what if she's not the one? Like, you don't know that. I would still do the song with Drake because, honestly, like, thinking back to when I released the Woman Crush Everyday song, when, like, you would get into a car, like, it would be, like, my family member, like, one of my homies, and, like, they're playing the song, and it just comes on. Like, it's so cool hearing people, like, sing the words to the song that you've created. And having people vibe out to something that you've created, like craziest feeling ever, man. Like I remember one time one of my homies was on vacation in Lebanon and she sent me a snap of her like having shisha in the background with Woman Crush Everyday playing and like her whole family was vibing out to the track. I was like, yo, this is sick.
That's someone
like,
else.
These are people I'm never going to meet in my life, but like they're listening to my song and they like it. Like that's like super, super cool. To have the opportunity to do that on a much larger scale, like
okay, that's fair. That's hard to beat. It's that creative juice that it's like, it's indescribable, that feeling of like when you see something that you created and seeing people genuinely enjoy it and impact them. That's unparalleled.
That was a hard one, man. Why do you have to do me like that?
All right. I feel like this will be an easier question for you.
Okay.
Because I think I know the answer to this one.
All right.
Who would win in a game of 2-on-2? You and Kenny or Ruben and Stoddy?
Me and Kenny, 1,000%. We've been talking shit about this for a while, like before the pandemic started, so we didn't have a chance to play. Where me and Kenny would slap the shit out of Ruben and Stoddy. Me and Kenny would slap them. We would beat them by double digits, guaranteed. When we play, we'll make sure it's like live streamed or recorded or something. Easy slap. I guarantee it, bro. I'll bet everything on it.
Final question. What would you tell your 13-year-old self?
Wow. I would tell my 13-year-old self that the most important thing you will learn when growing up and becoming the person you are is to, one, always be confident in everything that you're doing about yourself. And two, don't give a shit what other people think about you. Because if you're doing things to please others that's not benefiting yourself, or you're scared to do something because you think you're going to be judged, then that's probably not the right group of people you should be around, and it's probably not something you should be doing. Do those two things and you'll be happier than you ever could imagine with whatever comes your way, bro. And that's something that I won't even tell just my 13-year-old self, but anyone. as like life advice to follow.
That's a golden nugget right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
It's a golden nugget that you'd mine. Real talk, man.
Yeah, man.
There's actually one more thing. So I'm going to send you a video right now.
Message Choose.
John, what's up, man? Danny Green here from Los Angeles Lakers. Appreciate you for last year leading us out of the tunnel with the flag. I hear you're the flag guy. So I appreciate you, man. Just want to give you a big shout. This is reached out to by your friend Ben. Want to let you know how much he cares for you, is proud of you, let you know he's thinking of you. He also wanted me to roast you about your basketball skills, but I won't do that. But continue to stay positive, man. Continue to lead the team out when they come back, and stay safe. Take it easy.
Yo, what? What? Dude. What the? Kate, yo, I'm tripping. Damn. I what do you want me to say? First off, how? Second, that's the dopest thing ever. Holy shit. Okay, talk. Explain.
Let's just say I have plugs,
Yeah, no shit.
Dude, I work for the Raptors. How else would
Damn. My God.
Yeah,
Wow.
that wraps it up with the show, ladies and gents.
Holy shit. Busing, brother. Thank you so much. That made my fucking month. That's super cool. That is super cool.